Hey everybody, it's David Gordon from TheaterMania. It is Tuesday, May 19th. I have to look at the calendar to tell me what day it is, because who knows anymore. And I'm here with Rebecca Naomi Jones, one of my favorites.
Likewise, I'm sure.
How's it going?
You know, it's going. Every day is a little different. Like I feel every week is different. I feel like there are weeks where I feel like I'm going to tear my hair out. And then there are weeks where it's like, okay, I'm riding this wave.
Yeah, same. I'm on a riding the wave week here.
Me too. Which is, I mean, I actually kind of lied to you. I'm on a riding the wave day.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like the last few days have been a little.
Yeah, exactly.
What have you been doing with your days?
What have I? This.
It's good.
This cooking.
Yeah.
We're watching Frasier. We're almost done with Frasier. Like almost done. Like last 4 episodes.
Oh my gosh! Oh, how fun!
11 seasons.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
250 episodes, and we're almost done.
Wow, nicely done.
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
Well, we watched all of Mad Men. Oh, I just lied. We watched half of Mad Men. We had like gone back to like season 5 and watched the rest. So a couple seasons.
Yeah.
Also watching a lot of TV. Exercising, cooking. Sometimes I'm coloring in an adult coloring book.
I wish I had an adult coloring book.
You should do it. It's helpful, especially if you're like, I've been on a screen for many hours. Maybe I should do something else with my brain.
Yeah.
So you're learning Spanish, relearning the piano.
Oh, I wish I had a keyboard here too, because I took piano lessons for so long, and I
order it.
Yeah, it's at my parents' house. I just don't feel like going to pick. We don't have anywhere to put it.
Oh yeah. But the good thing about a keyboard is, you know, you can sort of like find a place to sort of temporarily.
Yeah. I know, but then the cats would jump on top. It's a whole thing.
Oh,
it's a whole thing.
Oh, we don't want that. No.
No.
It's a whole thing. That's quarantine.
Yeah. So you're doing this podcast. You're doing a podcast called Bleeding Love, or have you already? It's recorded. It's out. It's
correct.
Been distributed. Tell me about Bleeding Love.
Well, Bleeding Love is this super, in the words of the producers, demented telling of this dark tale. You know, it's a timely musical insofar as it's about a group of people who have to stay indoors because it's too dangerous to be outside. Mm-hmm. And it's super theatrical, which I love about it, especially if you're going to do something that's, you know, only audio, only oral. It really, I think, paints a picture for you that you can imagine, which is really nice. And yeah, it's sort of like a dark love story in a way, but there are a lot of elements to it that really struck me as compelling at this time, particularly, not only just because of the quarantining, but because of one of the characters being obsessed with guns and also not being able to find a red rose in the city because, you know, all living things have died. So, you know, all kinds of appropriate topics.
Yeah. Had you recorded this whole thing before all of this went down, or were you like recording from your living room?
Sort of both. We had recorded a demo of the songs a couple of years ago, I think maybe 2018, 17. And almost all of the songs had been recorded. So we recorded all of the dialogue while in quarantine. So in our separate homes.
That's so interesting.
It was interesting. It was such a lesson in sort of like being creative and figuring out how to get like a studio set up in a way in your home if you're not somebody who already has that. Like somebody like Tony Vincent, who's in the podcast as well. He's like an audiophile, so he's got all that set up. But like most of the rest of us had to borrow microphones and then had to like put blankets over our heads to create the right sound quality.
Funny.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, but also
you can't just like record it in Notepad on your iPhone.
Correct. I mean, you could, but it would be janky.
You're singing. It's a musical podcast, so you're singing too.
Yeah. So luckily, luckily, most of the songs had been recorded and in a proper studio years ago. I think that would have been much more of a task. I did have to sing one incredibly high belty song, sort of like a reprise of another song that I sang in the show. So it was brief at least, but it was like neighbor waking.
That's so funny.
Yeah, ridiculous.
That's so funny, and it's such a great cast. It's you, it's Tony Vincent, it's Sarah Stiles, who I'm talking to, Kudish.
Yeah. Taylor Trench. I mean, it's a
yeah.
Annie Golden. I mean, get out of here with these people.
Yeah. Did you interact with them while you were recording it, or was it like doing a voice for a TV show where none of you were together or talking?
Yes, and we did a pass all together. We did a rehearsal all together, and then we did a pass all together, which was really nicely set up. I really appreciated the way the producers set this up for us, such that we sort of had like estimated times in which we were going to be recording. So like we could pause and eat and live our lives, and then we would get like a little warning from Katie Rosen to get ready. So that was nice. So we were sort of able to hear each other, but we could take breaks. And then basically my tech was a total mess, so I had to do all of my stuff all over again.
Amazing. That's not nerve-wracking at all.
Yeah, basically. And don't worry, that's not the only project that I've had that issue with in quarantine. I'm just the problem child.
If you have questions for Rebecca, pop them in the comments. We'll get to them. This time last year, you were doing Oklahoma. What a difference a year makes.
Yeah. It's really strange to reflect on that.
Yeah. What was that experience like for you?
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
It was so many things. First of all, it was I won't say life-saving, but it was like reaffirming. It was reaffirming. I had been through a period prior to working on Oklahoma in which I had sort of lost faith in myself and in the business and in the business itself. And I had just like lost a lot of love and excitement for it. And when I got the job as Lori, I was, first of all, so surprised, but also the process of working with Daniel and with all of the other actors, at first at St. Anne's and then, of course, on Broadway, it just really revived my love for the work and my faith in the theater as something that I belong in and that I believe in.
Because it was a absolutely terrifying production, but in the best possible way. And I'd seen that show going back to when they did it at Bard, I guess 2015.
Yeah.
And I'd always wished that it would come to New York so more people could see it, but I never imagined that it would not only be on Broadway, but like last on Broadway and like all of that stuff. And it was so cool to me that something that was so like weird and imaginative and so unlike what you would expect that show to be could actually find an audience.
I felt the same way. And especially because it's a classic and it was this, dark, intense reimagining, but it was also like, the other way to look at it is that it was like a new way of looking at this thing and finding truth in it, in a way that makes sense for us in this time. Not at all poo-pooing what the original is and what the classic is. It was just like taking another look at it and allowing us to fall in love with this beautifully crafted piece of art again. Yeah,
and that ending. I remember there was a point where I saw you after one show. And like everybody just in the cast just looked like completely drained after doing that show.
Yeah.
Mostly because it was like it was a solid 3 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A solid 3 hours.
Yeah. She was a marathon.
But then like stuff goes down in that last 5 minutes that people don't really expect. And I would imagine you would have to shower after the show.
Every single show, sometimes twice.
Do you have to spoil it at this point? I mean, it's been closed for months.
I think we can, yeah.
You had a shower full of blood on you at the end.
Shower full of blood. I mean, I wish that I do have somewhere in my phone photographs of my pillowcase from last year. I just stuck with one because why change it? Because it just is a murder scene in my bedroom in Brooklyn. But yeah, I had to shower after every show, shower blood off of me, and you know, it was intense. The first production that I was involved in at St. Anne's, I definitely was like shaken up by it a lot. And the shower would be like, remove the blood, let the tears flow. You know, it was a lot. And I got.
You get to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that effect, I'm just obsessed with the effect because I would walk around, because they would let the audience know about the stage during the intermission, and I would walk around, and I'd seen it enough times because I'm obsessed with that production still, that I saw where the blood squirted. This is the blood when Judd is killed, and I would see where it would squirt out of the floor. I ended up finding like the little holes, and it was just like a miraculous effect that 2 little holes like that could spray so much fake blood on people.
I know. And I'm sure I've told you this before, or someone has told you this before, but we spent like hours getting our positions exactly right. Damon and I would have to be in full hazmat suits, like serious scientist goggles. I had like bandana over my hair. We had masks. I mean, it was like we were covered head to toe, and we spent hours with all hands on deck, figuring out exactly our positions, and like, oh my God, it was so intense, but so fun. And I have pictures somewhere in my phone, and everybody in Oklahoma has some pictures at some point of like Damon and I just drenched in blood in these hazmat suits.
Amazing.
Just married.
Yeah. Speaking of just married, my wife and I watched Significant Other the other night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I love that play. Everybody knows I love that play.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by how well it was a reading with the original cast. It was not live, though many people thought it was live, and it was just so impressively done.
Yeah, Tripp was really smart with his ideas about it. I mean, actually, everybody who was working on it, producing it, was really on point. But Tripp had a lot of great ideas. Yeah,
and I was surprised by how well this play works in that medium.
Me too. And yet, it kind of does feel right because it's so contemporary. The language is so contemporary. It's so fresh, you know?
And so much of it takes place over the phone that just seeing little boxes pop up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made sense. That was the other project I was thinking of, that I had to redo all of my stuff without everyone.
Wait, did you guys record that all together? Or
We did. We recorded it all together, but then again, problem child. I had to redo all of mine like 2 days before we aired.
No. So you're just like talking alone.
Correct. It was I'm not gonna lie, it was a bummer. I felt like I could see it when I watched it. I was like, oh, she's upset.
But only you could see it though. No one else. I mean, no one else until now.
That's good.
Do you like? So you did watch it.
I watched like half of it. It's really, it's hard to watch oneself.
Right. I was gonna say, because like you were in the Passing Strange movie, which is readily available on. I think it's still on Netflix or Hulu or one of those.
I think so.
But like, did you go back in the day when you guys shot that? Did you like go and watch it and watch yourself in it?
I went to like a couple of we did it. We went to Sundance Film Festival.
Right.
So like I had to watch it several times. And I think we went to Tribeca too. Yeah, we did. So I watched several screenings of it. Honestly, there are moments that still make me cringe where I'm like, really? Oh, Rebecca. Yeah, because like Spike Lee had said to us, I want you guys to keep your performances as theatrical as possible. Like keep it the way you do it for the theater. And there are things, I mean, part of it is just that I was a younger actress and I think I just would be able to find the balance better now. But like, there are just some moments where I'm like, oh God, that's a lot of eyeball. That's a lot of face, you know?
A lot of face, yeah, story of my life.
Child. And there's just like some parts that Chad Goodridge and I have laughed about for years. I won't even bring them up, but like, yeah, there are bits about it that I still am struggling with, and I'm like, I wish I could do it again. But yeah, I have watched it. It's gotten easier to watch it as I've gotten older,
Yeah.
but
oh, and you're in the American Idiot documentary. There's an American Idiot documentary too.
yes, that I love because we're not actually like doing the show. We're just
yeah.
Watch
that one and look for myself whenever there's a like a red carpet moment in there.
Yes.
I love that show too.
Me too.
You're in a lot of great shows.
Yeah, I've been really lucky to do a lot of things that are special and that bring a special group of people together. And
yeah, it's funny. I was just telling Alex Timbers. It feels like the other day, but all just time blends together. I was telling Alex Timbers probably in May when he was talking to me for this that I wish the band, the marching band, was in the Love Labor's Lost cast recording.
Oh, me too.
A lot of deep cuts here.
I know. I'm into that.
And we haven't even skimmed the surface on the Fortress of Solitude yet.
Oh, totally. Those are good days.
Yeah. And if the people watching this don't know, they should look up the cast recordings for Love's Labor's Lost and The Fortress of Solitude. Both genius works with Michael Friedman.
Agreed. I just sang one of Michael's songs at the virtual live stream Civilians benefit.
Oh, right, yeah.
Beautiful song. It just like working on it and singing it was one of those moments that I was just like, oh, Michael Friedman, man.
What a genius.
What a genius.
What song did you sing?
It's called America. It's from Nobody's Lunch.
Right. Yeah.
So good.
What a genius.
Yeah.
Fortress of Solitude is one of those shows that I just 100% feel did not get its due.
Totally.
And it had the sad misfortune of opening at the public the same season as Hamilton.
Exactly.
And you could always, like, even on opening night, you could tell the buzz was behind Hamilton and not Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
And I want that summer encores to do it one year just so people can see.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That is a great idea. Yeah. There was so much about that piece that still, when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, so much good stuff in there. And the music was incredible. And I think what the show was like getting at was so important.
Yeah. Especially now. Oh, it was Andre DeShields I was talking to about it.
Oh.
Last week, and he was, yeah.
Yeah. And Mambo too was amazing in that show.
The whole cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Strange is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, I've got to say, like, even if I'm listening to my iTunes or whatever and Passing Strange like accidentally comes on, I always go like, oh God, I don't want to hear like something I've worked on. But then I'm like, wait, these songs are so good.
I'm so glad that album was recorded live.
Me too.
Because it really gets the essence of what that show was. And that show was another show that people really didn't know really how to figure out.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would do a lot better today.
Me too. I feel like it sort of blew the door open for a lot of other stuff that's come since.
Yeah.
But speaking of stuff that would really resonate today, like how about American Idiot? I mean, I feel like
I know.
It's like frighteningly timely.
It's so that show. It's funny. I keep thinking about that, but to me, I just like see it so ensconced in the George W. Bush era.
Yes. I
don't know how it would work today, but I know it could.
Thematically, it just feels like, yeah.
What was that show like to do?
Oh, it was a blast. It was wholly exhausting.
I bet.
I mean, it was truly like being shot out of a cannon.
And you guys were just like jumping up and down the entire time.
The entire time. It was like doing high intensity interval training
Yeah.
while singing. And we were very well prepared for it. I mean, Stephen Hoggett, when we were in rehearsal, everybody who's worked on Stephen Hoggett shows knows, like Stephen Hoggett, we did workouts every day before rehearsal. We did I think it was like an hour of workout, and sometimes it was yoga, but
Yeah.
a lot of the times it was like relay and dance and all sorts of things. And so that was like twofold, because it was like building our stamina, but it was also building like a team vibe. And we continued to warm up together every day before the shows. But basically I remember like early in rehearsal, Stephen being like, what we're going to try to accomplish during the show is really impossible, but we're going to do it anyway. And that's what we did. It just felt like it was 90 minutes. We all felt exhausted all the time. Our bodies were broken, but it was like you heard that like da 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 da, and it was like, and it was just that was it. There was no question. We were all in it. We were all excited to be in it. And then it went, and then it would end, and it was like, we were also just, it felt like we were high the whole time. I mean, it was so hard, but it was so fulfilling. And the team aspect made it feel like just so exciting. And of course, working with Green Day and all of that, we just felt like we were high on top of the world. It was a
and they were really behind it too.
Yeah.
Like, and Green Day, they were all for it.
They were all for it. They were like, it was the whole time, even before Billy was in the show, it felt like it was theirs as much as it was ours.
Yeah.
Which I think made a huge difference.
Another show where the theater was just too big.
Completely. Completely.
You have turned, it's 10 years later.
Yeah, I know. If only we could go back.
Yeah. I love that show. The documentary is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Bleeding Love.
Bleeding Love.
I really like it. It's really good.
I like it too.
And I like that it's like it fits my attention span. It's not like too long. It's segmented well. I
know. I didn't even realize when we were recording it that they were going to, split it up that way.
Yeah.
And when I found out that that's how they were doing it, I was like, oh, that is so smart.
Yeah. And it, so many people like listen to podcasts on their way to work or to go places now, that without that, people are letting podcasts sort of fall by the wayside.
Yes.
It's just the sort of thing where you can listen to it, like you were saying, you can listen to it. It's an oral experience that you could just have on.
Yeah. Like
you don't need, it's so vivid and evocative that you don't really need imagery for it.
Yeah. I agree. And again, it's like, it's really theatrical. So it sort of just like captivates you in a way. You don't have to work for it.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you guys up to? What are you up to today? Like, how are you spending your time?
Oh man. Well, I've been really enjoying these workouts with this woman, Kit Rich. Have you heard of her?
No.
She's this trainer apparently that was recommended to me that I check out her videos. She's got some amazing videos on YouTube, and I've been really enjoying doing her like mostly 30-minute workouts a day, which has been sort of like a nice little marker for me in my day.
Yeah, it's nice to have that structure. That's what this is for me.
That makes sense. You have to have like at least one thing like that, or else madness ensues.
Exactly.
So I'll do that. I'll practice some piano. I'll do some Duolingo for my Spanish.
Oh, you're learning Spanish?
Yeah. I was really advanced in Spanish in high school. And,
yeah,
they got a little shady over time.
Life goes on.
Life goes on. Yeah. So now we're back to learning, which is really fun.
I should do that.
Yeah, you should. It's so easy. Duolingo is like, it makes it feel like you're doing a video game.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's
really, I mean, like a super simple, like video game from the 80s, but like, it's fun. There's little like cartoon characters, and I really enjoy it.
Rebecca, thanks for talking to me.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for having me. That was so fun.
It was. I really appreciate your time. I'm gonna pop up. Katie Rosen commented where we can find Bleeding Love.
Perfect.
N.fm/Bleeding Love. You can find it there. You can download it, listen to it.
We have no questions.
What?
We have no questions.
It's a lot of people commenting how cool you are.
Thanks, guys.
And how, see, you're the best.
Oh, hi, Craig.
You're so generous
Oh,
and, you know, such an...
I'll take those. That's
Yeah,
nice.
better than breakfast. Yeah. Rebecca, thanks for everything. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. You're always one of my faves.
You too. And I'm going to be back at 5 o'clock today live with Megan Hilty to talk about the Smash Bombshell concert that's airing tomorrow night. So see everybody on the internet in a couple hours. Bye, Rebecca. Thank you.
Bye, David. Thank
Here.
you.